Alright, so this is how to assemble a Photonis Vyper monocular. This is the Vyper body. This is the eyepiece locking ring, the eyepiece, the objective infinity stop, and the objective lens assembly. This is the tube. We have the tube locking ring. This is the tube. It's hard to see. It's the light pipe, and we have the battery assembly, and this is our objective locking ring that we call it an ORC or a Burke ring. Alright, so first step is to put on the locking rings onto the body, and next step is to put on the objective locking. It's an infinity focus stop. Okay, and then the next step will be to connect the battery assembly. Be sure that the O-ring is seated around the edge. Okay. All right, and then press in the connectors. Just make sure that they're seated down. Okay, and then the next step is to clean the glass surfaces of the tube. You can use alcohol and a cotton swab, and in a circular fashion, clean off the lenses. And be careful bending the flex cable. That goes in first. And then line up the pin with the slot. And then connect the tube to the battery case. Alright, and if you hold your finger inside so that the tube doesn't slide back out, carefully fold the wires in and bring the battery case up, and just check, make sure that no wires are pinched, and use a screw. And don't tighten it all the way. Don't snug it up all the way. Just enough to hold it on. And I usually do opposite corners for the start. Okay. And then, still holding onto the tube inside, take your eyepiece or your objective lens and make sure there's no dust on the lens piece. If there is, again, you blow it off with some air. Alright, then the light pipe goes inside. The light pipe has a small tab on it, and make sure the smooth side is facing up. There's also the word up embossed on the light pipe, and it goes into there's a slot on the top of the tube that goes into. And hold that in and work it around so that it's down flat. And then take the tube nut it down on top of the threads there. And you can use any kind of spanner wrench to screw this in. Just make sure the threads engage. Tighten down the tube nut. Make sure that's down tight against the light pipe. Make sure the gap around the edge is the same all the way around. Okay, and then the next would be to add the eyepiece on. So again, blow it off if there's any dust. There's any dust on the lenses. Make sure you engage your threads the right way. And take a spanner wrench and tighten the eyepiece locking ring back against the eyepiece. Finish putting in the screws in the battery case. And then go back around the battery case and just put a little snug turn on each screw and make sure they're in good. Don't tighten it too much though, you'll could crack the plastic. Okay. Alright, and then this is our Burke ring. That goes over the barrel. Okay, now the fun begins. You have to work the ring around using a tweezer to hold the one end and a screwdriver and work it down into the inside. So this is how to assemble a Vyper Bino. If you've watched the previous Vyper Mono assembly, it's very similar. We'll get started here. So this, let me explain all the parts. This is the Vyper Bino assembly. These are the eyepieces. These are the objective lenses. These are the tubes. These are the locking rings for the eyepieces. These are the infinity focus stops. And these are the tube locking rings. So the first item is to put on the eyepiece locking rings. So be careful with these threads. Again, they're fine threads and they're easy to get on wrong. Okay, next we're going to put on the infinity focus stop rings. Okay, then next we're going to put in the tube and make sure the surfaces of the glass on the tube are clean before you put them in. All right, and there's a notch on the tube which is going to go into, it's going to align with a notch on the inside edge down inside the body. So it goes right between, the notch goes right between the two contacts inside. So it helps to have a microscope handy to view the notch actually engaging with that with the stub inside. Next, make sure we're going to assemble the objective lens. Make sure that there's no dust again on your lens surface. Put some lubricant. We use Krytox lubricant to go onto the O-ring, and some can go on the threads as well. So just a little bit around. Okay, then hold the tube with your finger and make sure the threads align inside. Okay, and then we're gonna put the tube locking ring in, and you can use a standard spanner wrench for this. This is a particular one that we use. Tighten that in. Okay, just make sure that it's seated down all the way and tight. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Okay, now that we've got both tubes in, secured, and both objective lenses in, we're going to put the eyepieces in. So make sure you blow off any dust using air of your lenses. Make sure they're nice and clean. All right, and then be careful when threading with these fine threads. And once they go on all the way, then I back them off about a turn because we need to collimate. Do the other side. Again, make sure that's glass is clean. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do is put on the Burke rings, which will secure the objective lenses in the housing. So install the Burke ring, slide it over the barrel as such. Same on the other side. Alright, there's a groove on the inside of the body housing that the Burke ring needs to clip down into. So use a pair of tweezers and hold it and push. Use a small screwdriver or tweezer and work your way around the edge and push the Burke ring down inside until it snaps down inside. Okay, so now that we got both Burke rings seated down inside, we're ready to collimate.